what he says is interesting. He just looks at them with stone in hand, arms cocked and ready to fling, and he says, you know, many good works have I showed you from my Father. For which of those works do you stone me? How's that for calling them out? Oh, you wouldn't stone the woman taken in adultery even though she was guilty. How about stoning the sinless Son of God? What did I do wrong of all the Father's works? Well, the Jews answered him, saying, well, for a good work we stone thee not, but for blasphemy, and because that thou being a man makest thyself God. Those are fighting words. That you would claim the I am title back in chapter 8. Oh no, we picked up rocks then. And now that you're not saying I am God, but you're basically saying the same thing. You and God are one? Absolutely not. Talk about scandalous pride, effrontery, to usurp the throne of God, to say you're one with him. Now the irony there is that's exactly what many of our Christian friends say about us, because of our belief in the doctrine of deification or apotheosis. Call it what you will. Those are technical terms for our divine potential to become more like God, to grow up in God, to become more like him. All because of the grace of Christ, who keeps on perfecting us, the author and finisher of our faith until it's finished. That's going to take eternity. Unfortunately, those who don't understand our doctrine or just reduce it to a caricature will say, oh, you guys are trying to leapfrog God and become gods yourself, and so you don't need him. And that's not what we're saying. We're trying to do it in the way Jesus is suggesting here, to just keep coming unto Christ. And we're saying to one evangelical friend that was scandalized by this doctrine, I said, well, have you been saved? And he's like, of course. And I said, yes, I agree, and so have I. But what does that look like? What does Jesus do with you when he saves you? Doesn't he make you better? Haven't you felt changed by Christ? He's like, of course. I'm like, okay, good. So if Christ saving us makes us more like him, then when does Jesus stop saving us? And he was like, that's a dumb question. He would never stop saving us. I said, exactly. But if saving us makes us more like him and he never stops saving us, therefore he never stops making us more like him, as long as we continue to surrender and submit and let him do that. Doesn't that sound like eternal progression? We never catch up to him, let alone pass him by. But to continually to progress, this is the parent who keeps backpedaling as their toddler is learning to walk. I'm always close enough to catch you, but I'm going to keep backpedaling so you can learn to get steadier on your feet. Same thing what's happening here. It's not scandalous of us. We're not trying to take over. That was the adversary's plan. I do want to become not just like God, but I want to become God, and I want to usurp the throne of God and kick him off so I can rule things and do it for my glory. If that's what we're thinking, then the evangelicals are right to condemn us for it. But that's not what we're teaching. We're teaching that God is serious about our salvation and will not give up on us until we're more like him. That's what Jesus is after.